Hey there, and welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Patrick Wu, and I'm the author of the book, The Art of Wooing. And over the last 60 months, I've been working as a matchmaker. And yes, a matchmaker is kind of what you think it is. I basically was paid to match up my clients with potential romantic matches, which you could probably imagine. I probably talked to over 1,000 people around the topics of dating and relationships. And now that I'm no longer working as a matchmaker anymore for this company, I'm now able to share with you the 5 dating lessons that my matchmaking clients taught me and how these lessons can benefit you in your own dating and romantic life. So let's jump right on in. The first lesson that my matchmaking clients taught me was that you have to understand that your partner cannot complete you. So when I was working with a lot of my clients, I'd often hear them say something along the lines of this: Patrick, when I find the one, when I find my dream girl, my dream guy, then my life will be complete. But until then, I'm not going to be happy. So they kind of created this idea that until they actually achieve this big goal of theirs, they're basically gonna be miserable. And if you could imagine what that does to another person, it puts a lot of pressure on whoever that person is dating. So basically, it's saying, hey, you know what? My happiness is in the hands of you. Basically, if you like me, then I'll be happy. If you leave me, I'm gonna be devastated and sad. And having this perspective will make you extremely anxious when you do come across someone that is a potential lover of yours. So instead of having that perspective, what if this person isn't the yin to your yang? Isn't the grilled cheese to your sandwich? What if you were the grilled cheese sandwich, the whole grilled cheese sandwich? What if you were already completely complete? As in, hey, whether this person ends up in your life or not, you'd be fine. And if you actually came from that perspective, think about just how much easier things would be when you were to come across a potential lover. Well, I bet you would relax a lot more because now there isn't this crazy pressure for this person to complete you. The second lesson that my matchmaking clients taught me was that desperation is not sexy. Now, this might seem really obvious to you, but when I worked with a lot of my clients, a lot of them came to me and said, you know, Patrick, man, you're like my last hope. If we don't find someone for me this year, I don't know if I'm ever gonna meet anyone. And when I would hear them say this kind of thing in this kind of tone, I'm like, wow, this seems like pretty intense. Is this the energy that's gonna be played off when you're with a potential romantic partner when I match you up with them? So here's something that I noticed. I noticed that there was a big correlation between the people who were getting romantic success and the people who were not. And the ones who got romantic success more often than the ones who didn't were a little more relaxed, in that they were like, you know what, I'm gonna follow the process. I'm going to take one date at a time and focus my energy on that person. And if it works out, great. If it doesn't, then we'll try again. While the clients that I had that were really insistent on, I need to find someone to marry within this year, those people often were the ones who actually struggled the most, which is kind of ironic, right? Because you want the really big results really quickly, but they were the ones who were always getting the results the slowest. When you just slow down a little bit, your romantic success is gonna start skyrocketing a lot higher because you can actually breathe, you can actually relax into your interactions with the person in front of you. Now let's get to the third lesson that my matchmaking clients taught me. Number 3, getting over bad dates quickly. Now, I don't know about you, but if you've been in the dating game at all, you're gonna go through some really bad dates. Now, maybe you're one of the lucky ones that don't have to go through this, but from everyone that I've talked to, everyone's had a bad date. And here's something that's really interesting. The clients that I worked with that had the most romantic success were the ones who were able to shrug off those bad dates and then move forward. While the ones who really struggled with the dating process were the ones who were like, oh no, that was such a bad date. Oh man, I can't believe how awkward it was. Oh man, it's really kind of messed me up in this whole dating game. I think I might need to take a little time off now. And like this bad date would really affect their entire day, maybe weeks, maybe with their dates with the next person. And these bad dates were the things that kind of slowed them down in the dating process. And it oftentimes takes more than one date to get it all right. But if you can get through these bad dates one after the other and not be completely bogged down or affected by it so much that it stops you in your dating life, then that next lover, that next romantic partner is right around the corner. And from what I've seen, the faster you can move past those bad dates, the quicker you will meet someone great. And now we are on to the fourth dating lesson that my matchmaking clients taught me. Number 4, date a human, not a list. While my job was to find a really good date for my client, oftentimes they would see me as more of a grocery shopper, meaning that they wanted to have this big list fulfilled of the qualities of their romantic partner. And some of these lists of people, of my clients that they had, extended so far that I was thinking, I don't think I'm really finding a person. I think I'm finding something that's like imaginary. And I noticed that my clients who had these really, really long lists were the ones who were always the most single, because they were in love with their list as opposed to being in love with another person. And because they were so stringent on having all these things in order to be happy with a partner, they weren't really there ever. They were always kind of checklisting each person while they were on a date. So I would have these feedback sessions with both my client and the candidate that I set them up on. And then the candidate would often tell me about it felt like I was on some kind of interview the entire time. And even if the candidate I set up for my client was a good match, my client would always scare this person off because they were like doing this checklist thing. While I'm not saying don't have any standards at all and disregarding all the qualities of this person that you are looking for, I'm saying pick like 3 main qualities, 3 main characteristics, physical, emotional, whatever those qualities are, and go off of those first. And if this person has the basics of those qualities, then get to know that person, because they might be a lot better than what you envision even in your own mind. So shrink your list if you have a really big list. And now we have arrived to the 5th and last dating lesson that my matchmaking clients taught me. And that is being presentable goes a long way. So I hate to say this next part because it might feel a little unfair, but the truth is, when you're going on a first date, your date is gonna be judging you, either consciously or subconsciously. And you're also gonna do the same thing, because as human beings, we do this naturally by categorizing people to better understand them more easily. And as a result, they're going to be boxing you in terms of good impression, bad impression. Oftentimes, I get this dating feedback from my clients' dates that goes something along the lines of this. Patrick, your client is amazing. Your client's got a lot of things going for themselves. And also, we've got a lot of interests that we have in common. But if I have to be honest, there just wasn't that extra spark, that extra pizzazz, that extra X factor to it. And I feel so bad to say this, but I'm not interested in a second date. And I remember this was one of those things that just really hurt me, because man, I had these amazing clients that were doing all these really cool things and had all these great things happening in their lives, but because they didn't know how to present themselves in a good way or present themselves with a good first impression, a lot of times those dates wouldn't turn into second dates. So if you learn how to present yourself in your best way, then you have the best chance of that person getting to know you even more. So those are my 5 things that I learned from my Matchmaker clients. And I hope that they've been really helpful for you as they have for me. And as a plugin, if you're interested in learning more about how to tilt your odds to attract your dream lover, then I created a free 40-minute webinar for you called the Woo Factor Masterclass that you're absolutely going to enjoy. And if you're interested in that, you just have to go to the links below to click on that link. So I want to say thank you guys so much for watching this video, and I hope you guys have a wonderful day.